Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. My name is Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us. In the headlines, UNICEF urges Nigerian media to prioritize children's rights in reporting. Governor Soludo faces probe over planned vote buying, and the LEA commends customs war on drug trafficking. Pan-African Leadership Institute calls for ethical African leadership. A larger communities accuse Nigerian Navy of assault, arson, theft. While we can urge unity, prayers for leaders at 31st Convention. Last mile rescues injured victim as strong plungings of Oshodi Bridge. On business news, Nigerian breweries record 1.04 trillion naira revenue in 9 months. Flutterwave CEO hails FATF exit as boost for cross-border payments. On the foreign scene, Southeast Asian nations back President Trump's Gaza plan. Jamaica braces as Hurricane Melissa continues to strengthen. And on sports, Eric backs Stanley Nwabali despite erratic performances. Paul Onwachu bags another award in Turkey. Now the news. The United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF has urged media practitioners across Nigeria to place the rights, dignity and well-being of children at the heart of their reporting, emphasizing the need for empathy, accuracy and balance in covering issues that affect young people. The call was made by Dr. Anslem Audu, Chief Field Officer of UNICEF Port Harcourt during a 2-day Southeast Ethical Reporting Training for media partners themed Why Ethical Reporting on Children Matters. The workshop brought together journalists from various media organizations to strengthen their capacity for responsible and child-sensitive journalism. Dr. Audu explained that UNICEF's long-standing partnership with the media is aimed at equipping journalists with the necessary knowledge, skills and tools to ensure that stories involving children are handled with the utmost care. He noted that reporting on children requires a deep understanding of ethical standards, including protecting their identities, avoiding sensationalism, and amplifying their voices in ways that promote their rights and development. He further stressed that the media plays a critical role in shaping public perception and influencing policy action towards children's welfare, urging practitioners to always seek diverse perspectives and represent children's experiences truthfully and compassionately. According to him, the organization is committed to providing continuous training, resources and platforms that promote child-centered reporting across the country. In her keynote address, UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Ms. Wafa Said, reminded journalists of their vital responsibility to serve as the voice for children, many of whom cannot speak for themselves. She emphasized that ethical reporting goes beyond avoiding harm. It requires active efforts to highlight children's challenges, aspirations and rights, ensuring that their stories inspire action and drive positive change. Ms. Said also commended Nigerian journalists who have continued to spotlight child rights issues from education and health to protection and inclusion, noting that responsible storytelling remains one of the strongest tools in advancing UNICEF's mission of creating a safer and fairer world for every child. Governor Soludo of Anambra State has come under intense criticism over an alleged plan to influence voters ahead of the November 8 governorship election. The controversy stems from his public pledge to reward wards that deliver victory for their party, the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA, with cash prizes. During a campaign rally in Umunze, Orumba South local government area, the governor announced that any ward that APGA wins will receive 1 million naira, while the top 3 performing wards would receive additional 5 million naira, 2 million naira, and 1 million naira, respectively. Soludo's statement immediately sparked outrage across political circles and civil society organizations, with many describing it as a clear case of inducement and a breach of the Electoral Act. Critics say the promised amounts to vote buying disguised as a performance reward. Opposition parties have condemned the governor's action, accusing him of using state resources to manipulate the election process. Some party leaders argued that the timing of such promise, barely weeks before the election, raises serious ethical and legal questions. Meanwhile, the Electoral Observers and Rights Group have called for a full investigation into the matter. insisting that no form of financial incentive should be tied to electoral outcomes. They warned that allowing such practices could erode public trust in Nigeria's democracy. Governor Soludo, however, maintains that the pledge was simply a motivational gesture to encourage party members at the grassroots level. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has commended the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian Customs Service in the fight on drug trafficking. This was contained in a statement by the Public Relations Officer of the NCS Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Ikeja, Mr. Hussaini Abdullahi. According to the statement, the Chairman and Chief Executive of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, stated this when he received 25 kilograms of ice crystals, methamphetamine with an estimated street value of 562 million naira, intercepted by officers. The statement explained that officers of the unit intercepted the substance suspected to be hard drugs along Baji Seme Road. Speaking of the contrabands, the Customs Area Controller in charge, Mohammed Shoaibu, said the seizure underscores the unit's unwavering commitment to combating smuggling in all its forms and also highlights the importance of robust interagency collaboration. The CAC added that the unit remained resolute in its mission to work in synergy with relevant agencies and stakeholders to dismantle smuggling networks operating within the zone. He also disclosed that the seized suspect had been handed over to the NDLEA for further investigation and prosecution. The Pan-African Leadership Institute, PALI, has urged the promotion of effective and ethical leadership across Africa as the foundation for socio-economic transformation. PALI Global President Dr. Kofi Osei-Kush had made the call in Lagos during an interactive session with Nigerian alumni and fellows of the institute. The conference aims to inspire purposeful leadership, foster collaboration and strengthen professional networks among Nigerian change makers. The alumni held a media parley in Lagos to welcome Dr. Osei-Kush to Nigeria. The event provided a platform for interaction between the alumni, journalists, and partners on the forthcoming leadership conference and its objectives. Speaking at the engagement, Dr. Osei-Kush emphasized Pan-Africanism, leadership development, and unity among Africans both on the continent and in the diaspora. He said PALI was established to develop transformational leaders across Africa, adding that unity was the key to the continent's growth and decolonization. He noted that the African Union recognizes the diaspora as the sixth region of Africa and stressed that PALI seeks to build bridges between both sides. Dr. Osei-Kush disclosed that PALI had trained over 1,200 leaders across 53 countries, many of whom are Nigerians. He described Nigeria as a strategic nation and the giant of Africa, noting that its role in the institute's growth was significant. He said PALI's curriculum blends African wisdom with global exposure, combining traditional values and modern leadership principles. Dr. Osei-Kush explained that PALI's courses are conducted virtually with participants connecting globally, while graduation ceremonies rotate annually among member nations. He stressed that leadership must be guided by integrity, transparency, and service to others. Residents of Obanga, Obajedo, and Obaedun oil-rich communities in Ilaje local government area of Ondo State have accused personnel of the Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base FOB of launching violent attacks that left homes destroyed and residents brutalized. The allegations were contained in a petition addressed to the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 17, Akure. The petition, written on behalf of the affected residents by Ilaje Omoro Worldwide Connect, was signed by their solicitor, Barrister Obayemi Williams of JW Obayemi & Co. According to the petition, naval officers allegedly invaded the community on Sunday, harassing residents, setting properties ablaze and inflicting injuries on several persons. The residents described the attack as a lawless and militarized operation that mirrored a war-style assault. The petition further alleged that several families have been rendered homeless due to the destruction, while others have fled for fear of further attacks after the officers allegedly threatened to return. Describing the action as a gross abuse of power and a flagrant violation of human rights, the group calls for urgent police intervention and a thorough investigation to bring those responsible to justice. Meanwhile, Ilaje Omoro Worldwide Connect has threatened to stage a peaceful protest in Ibokoda against the action of the naval personnel. The group also requested police protection before, during, and after the rally. However, in a bid to prevent tension from escalating, the association issued a set of conditions for possible postponement of the protest. The group warned that failure to meet these demands would lead to the continuation of their planned demonstration. The Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Dr. Hadiza Sabuwa Balaribe, has called on Nigerians to rise above divisive sentiments and embrace unity through faith and mutual understanding, describing women as vital agents of peace, progress, and nation building. Speaking at the 31st Annual National Convention of the Women Wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Warwican, held at the Hekan Cathedral, Casino Road, Kaduna, Dr. Balaribe commended the group's efforts at promoting intercommunal harmony and empowering women across the country. Representing Governor Ubasani, the Deputy Governor lauded Warwican's chosen theme, Bridging the Cultural Divides Among Us Through Christ, as timely and reflective of the state's ongoing commitment to inclusiveness and peaceful coexistence. Dr. Balaribe emphasized that women's empowerment is not about competing with men, but about completing them in nurturing families, strengthening communities, and shaping society. National Chairperson of Warwican, Mrs. Elizabeth Ayobami Akin-Adewo, said the annual convention, which is held consistently for 31 years, bring women together in worship, reflection, and unity across cultures. She described the gathering as a platform to celebrate God's faithfulness and foster national harmony through shared Christian values. Officials of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, rescued a severely injured man after a fully loaded 6-tire truck plunged off the Oshodi Bridge, Lagos, into the terminal ditch. The accidents, which occurred along the Oshodi-Oke Inward Mile 2 axis, involved a truck reportedly laden with toner printing materials. Preliminary investigations revealed that the vehicle suffered a brake failure while descending the bridge, causing it to lose control and tumble off the carriageway. Eyewitnesses said the crash could have resulted in multiple casualties but for the prompt intervention of LASMA operatives who arrived at the scene within minutes. The office immediately launched rescue operations, successfully extricating a male victim trapped in the wreckage. The injured man was quickly rushed to a nearby medical facility for urgent treatment, while the truck driver was arrested and handed over to officers from the Makinde Police Station, Oshodi, for further investigation into the cause of the brake failure and other contributing factors. To prevent secondary accidents, LASMA officials swiftly cordoned off the area, diverted traffic, and supervised the removal of the wrecked vehicle, restoring normal traffic flow in record time. Commending the operatives for their professionalism, the general manager of LASMA, Mr. Bakari Oki, praised their courage and adherence to safety protocols during the operation. Mr. Oki disclosed that heavy-duty recovery vehicles and mini-trucks have been strategically deployed across Lagos's 5 administrative divisions, supported by over 2,700 personnel stationed at critical traffic points to ensure round-the-clock emergency response. He urged motorists to prioritize vehicle maintenance and obey traffic laws, stressing that LASMA remains steadfast in its mission to safeguard lives and property on Lagos roads. This is Comfort TV, the channel news. Will return shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying with us. This is Comfort TV, the channel news. On business news, Nigerian Breweries PLC has reported group revenue of 1.04 trillion naira for the 9 months ended September 30, 2025. This marks a 48% growth compared with the 703 billion naira recorded during the same period in 2024. The company disclosed this in a statement contained in its unaudited financial results. The company's cost of sales rose from 495 billion naira in 2024 to 627 billion naira in 2025. Marketing, distribution, and administrative expenses increased by 38% from 184 billion naira to 254 billion naira due to expanded brand and sales activities. The company's secretary and legal director, Mr. Uoboya Bekwaku, said, firm's performance reflected resilience in challenging macroeconomic conditions. He said the company achieved strong top-line and operational growth despite high inflation, rising input costs, and pressures on consumer spending. Mr. Abebaku noted that the company consolidated its market leadership through product premiumization, competitiveness, and enhanced route-to-market strategies. He said the group's revenue grew by 47%, supported by pricing adjustments and the strong performance of its premium portfolio. Operating profit improved significantly, driven by cost management and supply chain efficiencies, while net profit rose by 157% due to lower finance costs. Mr. Abebaku said the board expected the full-year results to remain positive. He appreciated shareholders for their unwavering support, which had enabled the company to navigate challenges and maintain a path towards sustained growth. CEOs of leading fintechs in Nigeria, including Flutterwave, have hailed Nigeria's removal from the Financial Action Task Force (FATF) grey list, calling it a transformative moment for the country's financial credibility and global investment outlook. The FATF announced that Nigeria, alongside South Africa, Burkina Faso, and Mozambique, had been delisted following significant reforms to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. The move ends nearly 3 years of increased scrutiny and signals renewed confidence in Nigeria's financial governance. Reacting to the announcement, CEO of Flutterwave, Olubenga Agbola, emphasized the operational and economic impact of the delisting. He described Nigeria's exit from the FATF grey list as a major boost for the economy, noting that the grey list had made cross-border payments and settlements more difficult and costly. He stated that the delisting will restore confidence, reduce remittance and cross-border costs, and enable faster, cheaper payments to and from Nigeria. The CEO also commended the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Ministry of Finance, and other stakeholders for their efforts, saying the move signaled that Nigeria was back on the path of trust, transparency, and financial leadership. Onto the foreign scene, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim expressed Malaysia's support for U.S. President Donald Trump's comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict, describing it as a source of hope for global diplomacy. Speaking during a joint summit of the United States and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations (ASEAN) in Kuala Lumpur, PM Anwar said the initiative has given the world renewed optimism that even the most difficult conflicts could be resolved through diplomacy and determination. He added that under President Trump's leadership, the region was confident of achieving a just and lasting peace. Prime Minister Anwar, who currently chairs the 11-member ASEAN bloc, made the remarks while addressing the summit alongside other regional leaders. Under a 20-point U.S. plan, the phased Gaza ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel, brokered through regional and international mediation, took effect October 10. Phase 1 includes the release of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners and a partial Israeli withdrawal. It also envisaged rebuilding Gaza and establishing a new governing mechanism without Hamas. Meanwhile, Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya expressed the group's determination to hand over the remains of Israeli captives under the ceasefire agreement and prevent Israel from creating excuses to resume the war in Palestine's Gaza. In March, Israel broke a ceasefire reached in January. Since October 2023, Israeli genocidal war has killed more than 68,500 victims and injured more than 170,000, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Hurricane Melissa strengthened into a major Category 3 hurricane early Sunday, unleashing torrential rain and threatening to cause catastrophic flooding in the northern Caribbean, including Jamaica and Haiti. U.S. forecasters warned Melissa could further strengthen into at least a Category 4 hurricane before making landfall in Jamaica early next week. The center of the hurricane is located 125 miles south-southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. It had sustained winds of 115 miles per hour and was traveling slowly at just 3 miles per hour, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said. The erratic and slow-moving storm has killed at least 3 people in Haiti and 4th person in the Dominican Republic, where another person remains missing. Authorities in Jamaica said on Saturday that the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston will remain closed. More than 650 shelters were activated in Jamaica. Officials said warehouses across the islands were well-stocked and thousands of food packages prepositioned for quick distribution if needed. The storm has already damaged nearly 200 homes in the Dominican Republic and knocked out water supply systems for more than 500,000 people. In Haiti, there were reports of rising river levels, flooding, and a destroyed bridge. The Bahamas Department of Meteorology said Melissa could bring tropical storms or hurricane conditions to the island by early next week. Melissa is the 13th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June 1 to November 30. The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration had predicted an above-normal season with 13 to 18 named storms. Onto the world of sports, Super Eagles head coach ComfortTV.Chelle has thrown his weight behind Nigeria's goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali. The Chippa United #1 came under heavy scrutiny during the October international break when the three-time African champions took on Lesotho and the Republic of Benin. The 29-year-old's error led to a Lesotho goal, while another miscommunication mistake with Semi Ajayi almost led to the equalizer. A similar situation came up in Nigeria's 4-0 win over Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, where he ended up shoving the team captain Wilfred Ndidi. With the World Cup playoffs against Gabon on the horizon, the Franco-Malian manager has backed the former Enyimba goalkeeper, comparing him to the former teammate veteran Rinje. With Maduka Okoye back in action after his suspension due to a betting scandal, there's competition between the stakes for Nigeria ahead of the World Cup qualifiers against Gabon next month. Still in sports, Super Eagles striker Paul Onuachu has been named winner of the Turkish Super League Goal of the Month award for September, capping off an impressive start to life back at Trabzonspor. The 31-year-old forward had been in sensational form since sealing a permanent move to the Turkish side from Southampton earlier this season. Onuachu had previously enjoyed a successful loan spell with Trabzonspor 2 seasons ago before returning to England, but both clubs finally reached an agreement for his full transfer this summer. Since his return, the towering Nigerian has been a key figure for the Black Sea Storm, contributing 7 goals and 1 assist in 10 appearances across all competitions. His award-winning goal came in Trabzonspor's clash against Faith Karagümrük late in September. Despite his imposing frame, Onuachu displayed remarkable agility, producing a stunning scissors kick finish that left fans and pundits alike in awe. The strike, which quickly went viral, beat several other top contenders to claim the league's best goal for the month. Onuachu was presented with his award by Trabzonspor's Vice President Tana Fikret Saralvirdi before their match against Eyüpspor, receiving warm applause from teammates and supporters. The former youngster continues to prove his worth as one of Africa's most lethal forwards in Europe, with Trabzonspor fans hopeful that his goal-scoring form will drive the club toward title contention this season. And that's our news bulletin this evening. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. UNICEF urges Nigerian media to prioritize children's rights in reporting. Governor Soludo faces probe over planned vote buying. NDLEA commands customs war on drug trafficking. Pan-African Leadership Institute calls for ethical African leadership. Ilaje communities accuse Nigerian Navy of assault, arson, theft. What we can urges unity, prayers for leaders at 31st Convention. Last mile rescues injured victims, strong plunges off Oshodi Bridge. And business, Nigerian breweries records 1.04 trillion naira revenue in 9 months. On the foreign scene, Southeast Asian nations back President Trump's Gaza plan. And on sports, Eric Chelle backs Stanley Nwabali despite erratic performances. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.